What if I told you that the less you speak, the more power you hold? Think about the most influential people you know. Are they the ones who fill every silence with words? Or are they the ones who choose their words like weapons, carefully, deliberately, with precision? The most dominant figures in history weren't the loudest in the room. They were the ones who mastered the art of silence. Powerful leaders, master negotiators, and those who command respect all understand one thing. The more you talk, the more you reveal about your thoughts, your emotions, your weaknesses. But when you speak less, you control the conversation without even trying. Today, we're uncovering the hidden psychology of why the most powerful people speak less, and how you can use this strategy to gain instant authority in any situation. Let's begin. Throughout history, the most powerful figures weren't the ones who spoke the most. They were the ones who knew when to stay silent. Julius Caesar, before rising to power, was not the loudest voice in the Roman Senate. He was a master observer, watching, listening, and reading every move before making his own. By the time he spoke, every word carried weight, because he had already calculated its impact. The same principle applies beyond history. Think of Michael Corleone in The Godfather. He didn't dominate conversations with endless words. Instead, he controlled them through silence, waiting, letting others reveal their intentions, making his presence alone command respect. And when he finally spoke, every sentence felt like a decree, every word held power. Powerful people don't waste words. They don't seek validation through constant talking. Instead, they let their presence, their body language, and their calculated silence do the work. And the effect? Others lean in, listen more closely, and respect what is left unsaid. But why does this work so effectively? Because human psychology is wired to place more value on what is scarce. Words, when used sparingly, become more meaningful. Now, let's break down exactly why speaking less makes you more powerful, and how you can use this to your advantage. Before we continue, if you're serious about mastering power and influence, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe right now. The strategies in this video can change the way people see you, so don't miss out. Turn on notifications, and let's get started. 1. The silent authority: how to command respect through silence. Powerful people don't demand respect, they command it without saying a word. Think about the most influential leaders in history. They don't talk excessively, they don't fill every silence with words. Instead, they let their presence, their calculated pauses, and their controlled speech do the work. The psychology behind silence and power. When someone speaks too much, they give away information, sometimes more than they should. They become predictable, and predictability weakens authority. But when you speak less, something fascinating happens. People start thinking about you more. Your silence forces them to wonder, what is he thinking? What is she planning? This mystery makes you seem more powerful, more in control. In psychology, this is known as the power of perception. The less people know about you, the more they assume you know. That's why some of the greatest minds in history mastered the art of controlled silence. Real-world examples of silent authority. Barack Obama. One of the most powerful aspects of his communication style is his deliberate pacing and pauses. He doesn't rush to speak. He controls the tempo of every conversation, making people hang on to his every word. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophers. The Stoics believed that wisdom comes from listening, not from speaking unnecessarily. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest emperors, was known for his restraint. choosing his words with precision and only speaking when absolutely necessary. Michael Jordan. On the basketball court, Jordan didn't waste time talking trash like many other players. He didn't need to. His presence alone was enough to intimidate his opponents. His silence made them overthink, and in the end, they defeated themselves. How to apply this in everyday life? So, how can you use this in your own life to build respect, authority, and control? 1. Speak less, observe more. The next time you're in a group conversation, resist the urge to fill every silence. Instead, listen, watch people's reactions, read the room. The less you speak, the more value each of your words will carry. 2. Stop explaining yourself. Weak people feel the need to justify every action. Strong people let their actions speak for themselves. If someone challenges you, don't rush to defend yourself. Pause. Let the silence build tension. Then, respond with precision. 3. Control your body language. Stillness equals power. If you fidget, shift constantly, or look uncomfortable, people will sense uncertainty. Instead, hold your ground. Keep your posture upright, make controlled movements, and use eye contact strategically. Why this works? When you master silence, you make others work harder to understand you. They become more engaged in what you're saying. They lean in when you finally speak. And most importantly, they respect you. Because in a world full of noise, the person who speaks with intention is the one who holds the most power. Next, we'll uncover how mastering body language can make you appear even more dominant without saying a word. 2. Body language speaks louder. Mastering nonverbal dominance. Powerful people don't just speak with words, they command respect with their presence. It's a fact, over 80% of communication is nonverbal. The way you carry yourself, the way you move, and the way you make eye contact all determine how people perceive you. And here's the truth. People judge you before you even open your mouth. The strongest individuals don't need to talk excessively. Their presence alone demands attention. The psychology of non-verbal power. Imagine walking into a room. Before you say a word, people are already forming an opinion about you. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, or fidget, you immediately project weakness. But if you stand tall, take up space, and hold steady eye contact, you project confidence and authority. This is what separates leaders from followers. The most powerful people don't need to prove anything, because their body language does it for them. Real-world examples of non-verbal dominance. Vladimir Putin. Whether you agree with his politics or not, one thing is undeniable. His body language radiates power. He walks with deliberate movements, maintains a firm posture, and rarely breaks eye contact. His controlled demeanor creates an aura of authority. Top CEOs and business leaders walk into any high-stakes boardroom, and you'll notice that the most powerful person in the room isn't the one talking the most. It's the one who controls the space. They sit back confidently, maintain steady eye contact, and move with purpose. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. His dominance isn't just in his physical size, it's in how he carries himself. He moves with precision, controls his facial expressions, and rarely looks rushed. This presence alone makes him appear larger than life. How to apply this in everyday life? 1. Master your posture. Stand tall with your shoulders back and your chest slightly expanded. Sit with your feet firmly planted, taking up space. Avoid slouching or crossing your arms. This makes you look defensive and unsure. Control your movements. Powerful people move with purpose. They don't fidget, shuffle their feet, or gesture excessively. Slow, deliberate movements create a sense of authority and confidence. 3. Use eye contact strategically. When speaking, maintain steady eye contact. This forces the other person to stay engaged. Don't blink too often. This signals nervousness. Instead, hold your gaze naturally, then break it intentionally. Why this works? When you control your body language, you control how others perceive you. You become someone people respect, someone they listen to, and most importantly, someone they remember. And once you master this, you won't need to say much to command attention. Next, we'll break down why speaking less makes you more powerful and how it gives you complete control over any conversation. 3. Why less talking, more power. How speaking less gives you control. The less you speak, the more power you hold. Most people believe that talking more makes them appear smarter, more confident, and more persuasive. But in reality, the opposite is true. The more you talk, the more you reveal your thoughts, your emotions, even your weaknesses. But when you speak less, you control the flow of information. And when you control information, you control how others react. The psychology of speaking less. Every conversation is a game of power, and in that game, the person who talks the most often loses. When you say too much, you give away your position. You reveal your emotions, making it easier for others to manipulate you. You eliminate mystery, making yourself predictable. Meanwhile, the person who speaks less has the upper hand. They make others fill the silence, exposing their own thoughts and weaknesses. They appear more confident because silence signals self-control. They create a sense of mystery and intrigue, making others work harder to understand them. In short, the person who speaks the least controls the conversation. Real-world examples of the power of silence. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, Buffett is known for his patience in conversations. In negotiations, he always lets the other party speak first. Why? Because when people talk too much, they often reveal more than they should, giving him the upper hand. Samurai warriors. In ancient Japan, samurais were trained never to show emotion in battle. A warrior who reacted with anger or fear gave his opponent an advantage. But the samurai, who remained calm, silent, and unreadable, was always in control. Tom Hardy. In interviews, the actor is famous for his short, deliberate answers. While interviewers try to get him to speak more, Hardy simply lets the silence do the work. As a result, he maintains control over the conversation and keeps people intrigued. How to apply this in everyday life. 1. Stay silent when provoked. When someone tries to get a reaction out of you, stay calm. Let them overreact. Let them get emotional. You remain in control. Second stop, revealing. Too much about yourself. Weak people overshare because they seek validation. Strong people keep a layer of mystery, revealing only what is necessary. 3. Use strategic pauses. Before answering a question, pause for a second. This makes you seem more thoughtful and makes others hang on to your words. Why this works: people expect instant reactions. When you don't give them one, they start to second-guess themselves. They become uncomfortable. They start talking more, and in that moment, you gain control. The most powerful people understand this. Control the words you speak, and you control how the world perceives you. Next, we'll uncover how silence, when combined with strategic pauses, can make every word you say even more powerful. 4. Strategic pauses, using silence to amplify your impact. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it, afraid that a pause might make them look uncertain or unprepared. But in reality, A well-placed pause can make you appear more confident, more in control, and far more influential. Silence forces people to lean in, to wait, to anticipate what's coming next, and that anticipation gives your words more weight. The psychology behind strategic pauses. A pause is more than just a break in speech. It's a tool. It creates tension, making people focus intensely on your next words. It adds gravity, making everything you say sound more important. It gives you control, because the one who controls the silence controls the conversation. Think about it. When someone asks you a tough question, do you immediately respond? Or do you pause, making them wonder what you're thinking? Real-world examples of the power of pauses. Martin Luther King Jr., "I have a dream." Speech. In one of the most powerful speeches in history, MLK didn't just speak. He paused. Every major statement was followed by a moment of silence, letting the words sink in, making them unforgettable. Elon Musk, controlling conversations with pauses. In interviews, Musk is known for pausing before answering. Some mistake this for hesitation, but in reality, it forces interviewers to wait, keeping Musk in control of the exchange. Barack Obama, the art of the pause. Obama's speeches are filled with deliberate pauses. He doesn't rush. He lets his words breathe, ensuring that his audience absorbs every single one. How to apply strategic pauses in everyday life. 1. Pause before you speak. When someone asks you a question, don't rush to answer. Pause for 2 to 3 seconds. Let them feel the weight of the silence. Then, when you speak, every word will carry more authority. 2. Use silence as pressure in negotiations. In negotiations, the person who speaks first is often the one who loses power. If someone offers a deal or makes a statement, stay silent. Let them fill the gap. They will either reveal more information or become uncomfortable. 3. Break up your sentences with pauses. Instead of speaking in long, uninterrupted streams, pause deliberately. This makes your words sound more intentional and more powerful. Why this works? Pauses create drama, tension, and anticipation. They demand attention without you having to raise your voice. They give you control over the conversation, forcing others to focus on your words. Because in a world where everyone talks too much, the person who masters silence stands out. Next, we'll reveal how to use your presence alone to dominate any situation without saying a word. 5. Commanding presence. How to control others with your presence. True power isn't just about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself. Some people walk into a room and without saying a word, they immediately command attention. Others, no matter how much they talk, struggle to get noticed. What makes the difference? It's not about physical size, it's not about status, it's about presence. People with a commanding presence don't seek attention. Attention naturally gravitates toward them. They project confidence, control, and dominance simply by the way they enter a space, the way they move, and the way they interact. And once you understand how this works, you can make people stop, listen, and respect you without saying a word. The psychology of presence and power. The human brain is wired to sense dominance. Before someone even speaks, their posture, movements, and facial expressions send subconscious signals about their status. If you appear calm, composed, and confident, people assume you have control. If you appear tense, hesitant, or uncertain, people instinctively dismiss your authority. Commanding presence is about controlling the energy in the room. It's about owning your space in a way that makes people take you seriously. Real-world examples of commanding presence. Jeff Bezos, the silent power of presence. Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, doesn't need to raise his voice to command respect. When he enters a room, people naturally stop and listen. His presence alone signals authority. Why? Because he moves with purpose, stands firmly, and never appears rushed or uncertain. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt, power through stillness. Egyptian pharaohs rarely spoke in public. They didn't need to. Their mere presence was enough to command worship and obedience. They moved deliberately, never appearing hurried or reactive, reinforcing their godlike authority. James Bond, fictional, but a master of presence. Notice how Bond never fidgets, never appears anxious, and never moves without purpose. His power isn't just in his words, it's in how he holds himself. How to apply this in everyday life. 1. Own your space. When standing, keep your shoulders back and chest open. When sitting, don't shrink yourself. Spread out naturally, showing confidence. 2. Slow down your movements. People who rush appear nervous. Move deliberately, with control. When walking into a room, don't dart your eyes around. Look straight ahead with intention. Control your voice. Speak slightly slower than normal. This makes your words sound more intentional and powerful. Lower your tone slightly. Deeper voices are naturally perceived as more dominant. Why this works? People are drawn to those who radiate confidence. They respect those who move with purpose. They listen to those who control their presence instead of seeking approval. Because in a world full of noise, the ones who don't need to fight for attention are the ones who naturally get it. Next, we'll bring everything together. How mastering emotional detachment makes you unstoppable. Power is not about talking more, it's about talking less, moving with intention, and controlling how others perceive you. Over the past 20 minutes, we've uncovered the secret behind why the most powerful people in history, leaders, strategists, and visionaries, speak less, but dominate more. Let's recap the key strategies that give you the ultimate advantage. 1. Speak less, observe more. The less you speak, the more power you hold. People respect those who don't feel the need to fill every silence. When you speak sparingly, your words carry more weight, more impact, and more authority. 2. Master your body language. Over 80% of communication is non-verbal. You don't have to talk to command attention. Control your posture, move with purpose, and use steady eye contact to create an aura of dominance. Powerful people own their space. They don't shrink, they don't fidget, and they don't seek approval. 3. Use strategic pauses to control conversations. Silence isn't weakness, it's a weapon. A well-placed pause forces people to hang on to your words, making them more memorable and impactful. In negotiations, the one who speaks first often loses control. Let the silence do the work for you. 4th, command presence. Without saying a word. True power is when people respect you before you even speak. Confidence is projected through stillness, slow movements, and an unshakable presence. If you want to be taken seriously, act like someone who doesn't need to prove themselves. Why this works? People are naturally drawn to those who seem in control. They respect those who don't over-explain, don't overshare, and don't seek validation. They fear those who remain unreadable, unpredictable, and composed under pressure. And when you master these techniques, you stop chasing respect and influence. It starts chasing you. Now that you understand how speaking less gives you more power, it's time to take this even further. If you're